welcome to the Honest Property Podcast. We're your hosts, Becky and Ruth, and we have been sisters all our lives, and we do business and property investing together for the last 10 to 12 years. Depends when you want to really establish when that began. But yes, on this podcast, we talk all things property, and we just want to share the knowledge so that everybody can learn and benefit and have an honest account of what that's like, because the property space can be a very overwhelming place. So in this episode, we want to cover all the tools that we've used, still use, or have used in order to run our property portfolio. In the hopes that they might be useful tools for you too, because we listened to a podcast before and would just take bits from other podcasts and be like, "Ooh, that's a good idea. We should give that a try." But we thought we'd put a list of everything that we've actually found useful all in one place. So the first thing that we can go that we recommend is
we'll say none of this is sponsored. This is our own opinion. The one thing that we've really found very valuable is a software called Stacked. When we first started property, we used to just have many files on our computer for all of the different properties or any of the properties that we acquired, and it would just get very messy.
Once you built a portfolio, it's kind of everything's a bit everywhere, so it's nice to have one system where everything is in one place and everything sort of automatically diarized for you. You know, it's in a calendar. We know it will send us a notification when like a gas safety certificate needs renewing and things like that, and it's just all in one place, and our calendar is already pretty loaded anyway.
So it was a great place for us we were trying to find a software that we could just put our portfolio on and keep it systemized instead of it being through many different files. Like if you've had a portfolio of properties for several years, eventually it's going to get messy the way that you tidy up.
Stacked.com. So that's
Stacked.
STACKD.
So we found Stacked, and Stacked has been really great, and just putting the necessary documents that you want to be able to put on there with your licensing, your tenant information,
property values. It just gives you a great overview of your portfolio and calendarize.
Yeah. But you can also have teams of people. So my sister and I, we both have we can talk to each other on it. So if there's a project that certain things need to happen by certain times, and we can tick it off so that the other person can see by email.
Project management.
Really, we're always together for work a lot of the time, so we don't use it that much, and we'd also pick up the phone to call each other.
But if you have a team of people and you're doing a development or a big refurbishment, it's one way just to keep tabs on everything. So highly recommend.
They have another feature as well, don't they, where you can work out if a deal stacks.
Yes, if you're looking for investment. I mean, that's why it's called Stacked, isn't it? And this software used to be we used to pay for it every month, and now the portfolio overview part of it, which is what we mainly use it for, is entirely free. But if you want
completely free,
if you want to, I think
the whole thing's free now.
But the stacked bit, so you can stack your deals on there, and it will kind of automate all the numbers into a presentation for you, so you can approach investors, your network, to seek joint venture arrangements or just like angel investing arrangements from other people in a really tidy way.
Oh, another thing they also it shows you the value of your property going up as well in real time. So that was very useful, especially if you want to keep an eye on your portfolio growth.
Yeah, if you like stats and like organization, that's the one. I recommend Stacked.
It's very good, I'd say, as well, for when I'm ringing up utility companies and I have all of the postcodes all in one place for me to look at an overview instead of trying to find files
just
on my
digging
computer
through everything and like, is that tenancy agreement? God damn, it's just
it's very much been a a savior for us for systemizing and being able to see our portfolio all in one place. So highly recommend that.
So the next thing is we recommend being members of the NRLA.
Yes.
For compliancy.
Yeah.
It will be the website and resource you go to for up-to-date regulations, so that you are always compliant.
Yes, and as well, I'd say you can, I don't know if it's free or it's an extra cost. They provide legal AST, assured tenancy, short hold tenancy agreements for you to be able to use if you're managing yourself.
Yes, they've got a ton of documents in there that are already legal. Yeah. And you can
you're paying for the subscription.
Yeah, and you have access to all these documents, and then you can fill them in as you need. Yeah. But all sorts of documents at your disposal there.
And it's a great way as well with the NRLA. It's designed for landlords. It's designed for investors.
They also have a call, like a helpline. If you're stuck with something,
if you're having difficulty
with a tenant or something, someone's in arrears, they will tell you you can probably find the information with what to do, what your options are on the website, or you can call their hotline and get direct help that way if that's the way you prefer to be helped.
And they also have a magazine, which has been really interesting to hear and watch other people's stories and see what's happening in the space. What? We're just funny because it's just we're sisters and we talk like we're finishing each other's sentences.
No, you'd think we were twins.
But anyway, with the NRLA, it's the best place to get your property information to stay in the loop is from there and not really from the news. So that's like the best place to get
your legislations, your licensing requirements, like your just all the resources that keep you compliant and legal. Be a member of the NRLA.
Yeah.
We also love, this is a very basic tool, but a very essential part of our day-to-day, numbers or Excel spreadsheets. So you can make sure your deals are stacking.
And if you don't want to use expensive software to be able to...
It doesn't need to be a subscription all the time. Like numbers or Excel are usually just already on your computer. So we use that a lot.
Yeah.
We also use Sage for our accounting. Yeah.
So what we do is we pay a subscription at a discounted price with our accounting team we use Sage because that's what they use in our with our accountant, and it means that in real time we can send relevant information to our accountant, and Sage software is just very easy to use. I've done bookkeeping accountancy training, which I was using Sage, so I've continued to use Sage, and I really recommend it. I think there's like another software called Xero that other accountancy firms use, but just because I've been trained with Sage, we've continued using that, and I really recommend. And see if your accountant also uses Sage, and see if you can get a discount, because I know our accountant gives us a discount through the system that they pay for. So if you've got an accountant, just ask them if they've already got a system where their clients are able to use it, because you'll save a little bit of money there.
When we were very proactive in our serviced accommodation, Airbnb properties, and we were researching, we used a website called airdna.com. So that's AIRDNA.com. And it's amazing. It basically will do all the due diligence for you. Basically, it will compare and show you the listings in an area that you're researching. Or you can even put the address of the property that you want to buy, and it will come up with some statistics for you based on other Airbnbs local to you. You can see on a map just how far away they are from the property that you're looking at, what they're bringing in every year, every month, what their occupancy rates are, what sort of facilities they are providing their guests.
And also seeing the style and like the quality of
your competitive listings.
Exactly. And it's quite easy to, it was a new system for us to learn, and you can get sucked into it because it's so nice being able to see so much information. It's so nice to be able to see what other people have done and be able to visually have it all in one place for you to click on and just see who your competition is.
And then you can adjust, like, okay, if there was 4 bedrooms, how much would I make? If there were 3 bedrooms, how much would I make? You can really sort of adjust the number of bedrooms. Say you're building a new place, or you're doing up a new property. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how many guests you could occupy, and just go based on just entering these bits of details. How much the system will figure out exactly how much it reckons you can get for your occupancy rates.
And show you on a map
how much you can earn a year. It's
amazing. It shows you on a map in clusters of where these Airbnbs are, and then you can click on each one to see the quality of them.
And you can also see how other operators are performing in the area. Who's the most popular one? Who's what property managers are the most popular? How many what property managers have how many properties each property manager has. It's very, very insightful. It is a bit expensive, but if you are deciding to you want like an easy way to do your due diligence on a serviced accommodation, on an Airbnb. You want to know for sure how much it's going to perform for you, and know who your competitors are. So this is very much based on Airbnb and VRBO properties. It doesn't include all the different platforms. I don't think Booking.com. No. It doesn't factor in Booking.com listings, but
you can pay for different areas. So it could be worldwide. It could be just the UK. It could be a region.
The payment plans will be different because of that.
A good tip as well, which is what we did, is look. There are vouchers, coupons out there online to be able to get a discount.
Always look for a coupon.
Always look for a coupon for whatever you're buying.
Actually, that's another thing. Download Honey.
Yeah.
Honey is like an extension that you download, and it is on your browser, and it will automatically apply discounts for you when you go to check out anything. So that doesn't just include property. That's like just anything online, so instead of having to Google what voucher codes are ready and then be misled down some sort of advert.
So we've actually used Honey for 2 products that we use on our properties, which is Blink.
Blink. So Blink is another thing that we used with our Airbnb properties, and that is something that is sold by Amazon, and it is outdoor motion triggered camera. So we can keep an eye on our property, on our serviced accommodations.
For anyone that is coming into the property.
Yeah, just security wise.
Yeah, I mean, we did used to have pillows that were being taken in the past, or people stealing things. So it does.
Your intruders, you want to know that your guests aren't smoking in the property,
or having
everyone's
parties.
being respectful. It's a good way to, if you did have to raise any issues, it's a good way to provide evidence if there was any issues. And it also reassures the guests, saying that the place that they're staying in is safe. So highly recommend Blink. Yes, and then Honey did get a discount.
Minute as well. Honey got us a discount on Minute monitors, which have been really good.
Yes. Minute monitor is a noise monitor, so it doesn't actually record any conversation or anything like that. It just measures decibels
and checks for cigarette
smoke and damp. So it's a way to monitor your property. I guess it doesn't have to be a B&B, but you could even do it in, say, an HMO, just in case you've got some students and you're in an area that might be you don't want anyone smoking. Or if you think your tenants might be at risk of being noisy and upsetting neighbours or guests, then it's a good idea to try the minute monitor.
Yeah. And the great thing about the minute monitor as well is that you can connect it so that if you're not managing, but you have a management on behalf of you, then you can link it up to their system so that they can be notified if anything is happening.
And it also has a automated communications feature, so you can automate messages to your guests, like the check-in details when they arrive and when they leave, and if there is an alarm going off because there's smoke or the decibel threshold has been exceeded, then you will get a notification on your phone. So then it also has a feature where it will, if the noise goes on, I think for more than 10 minutes, if it's too loud for more than 10 minutes, an automated text message will be sent to your guest, and it just helps make your service accommodation business as streamlined as possible. So we highly recommend a minute monitor.
Evivo.
Oh yeah. So so channel managers. A channel manager is basically, so there's Airbnb, there's Booking.com, there's VRBO, there's all these different platforms that you can list your service accommodation on. A channel manager basically is a platform that puts all of these different online travel agencies in one place and syncs up the calendars so that you don't accidentally double book anywhere. We use two platforms depending on the management that we are with, and we have used Evivo and Uplisting. We don't actually manage those channel managers ourselves, our management does, but as a property owner, we are able to log in basically and just have an overview and see the details of what's actually going on in a property, so it doesn't leave us in the dark. If you are going to have someone managing your Airbnb for you, it is expected that as the property owner, you will have full access and full disclosure and transparency with the ins and outs of what's going on in your property.
And the names of the people who are staying at your property.
Yeah. So, and like how long they're staying for, all the details, so that you know you're being... There's just full transparency and trust then between yourself and your management. And the platforms that we've used are Evivo and Uplisting. So that they've been really useful for us to just have that oversight. Yeah. We use Amazon Business.
Yes.
So
if you have a limited company or you're a sole trader or for whatever, like any way that you can prove that you are a running business, you can get Amazon, and you can also, it's been amazing because it's allowed us to be able to buy utensils, say, for like in a bulk for our service accommodations.
You get different deals on Amazon Business. Yeah. And
also just by being a business, you can get trade cards for a lot of different businesses like B&Q, Brewers. I think it's about 10%.
Yeah, it's very worthwhile applying for those trade cards as a business, just to, every little
saves
helps.
a buck.
Yeah. That money could be saved and reinvested into some other aspect of your business down the line. So it's very much worthwhile applying for all those business accounts to make those savings.
Yeah, there are other like for if you're doing service accommodation, then there are
Wayfair have a business account.
Have a business account. So check
IKEA.
that out. IKEA,
get them points.
Yeah, so there's so many. You just have to shop around online. But if you've got a business and you can prove that, then definitely
Tradepoint.
It really, really helps. Tradepoint, yeah, that's B&Q. Yeah,
Tradepoint and Brewers really are the ones we use the most. And then when we go looking for our properties, we're always using apps, Rightmove and Zoopla. Sometimes everything we're saying, there's some there's options that are going to provide expensive subscriptions, but you definitely don't have to feel obliged to use them. There's a lot of free apps already out there that you can use to run your business. But Zoopla and Rightmove, very good, especially Zoopla. I like Zoopla.
Yeah. I prefer I find Zoopla easier to use than Rightmove.
The app on the phone as well. I don't think it's on the computer, but you can, on your account, you can save all your properties as the homeowner, and then you can have again function where you can have an overview of how your properties are doing, how they've grown in value over time, which I quite like.
Yeah.
Because if you check in on Zoopla and you see, oh, this property is has gone up quite a bit, it's worth remortgaging. Kind of keeps you a bit more on the ball and your eyes more on what's going on, and when opportunities might come about. So you can really get sucked into Zoopla and Rightmove.
I mean, it's a good idea too, so that you can see the type of quality and the value of the different areas that you may want to invest in, and just keep on top of it, so that you can visually see what the market's doing. I think just keeping your eyes and keep looking. If you don't have time to go to an area to actually visually look yourself or do lettings, do viewings, then it's good to keep playing around with like seeing what the market's doing on Zoopla or Rightmove.
Regarding managing our properties, whether they're an HMO or a buy-to-let, we pay for management, but if we were to manage ourselves, we probably use something like Coho, and we've heard good things about it.
Have used Coho.
So nowadays, the softwares that letting agencies use is now available for regular landlords to also use and manage their properties with. So I think Coho is one of those.
Yeah. Also with Coho, you can also talk to your tenants through that, which is really, really helpful. It keeps everything streamlined.
The worst thing is having your personal phone popping off because like in hours and out of working hours or out of hours you choose to be working, but you can definitely systemize the communication process.
And we want to say that we're very pro. Doesn't matter if you have one property or 10 or 15 or 100. Treat your properties like a business, and by having these systems in place, we'll make sure that you're not 24/7. Like, you need a break. So being able to have these systems in place, like having a system like Coho or Stacked it keeps work in one area. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it keeps work there, and it's a good idea for your mental health to be able to switch off and go, okay, I'm keeping something separate from my personal phone.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't in the beginning, so we are very, very pro systemizing as much as you can to be able to have a clear boundary with separating work from personal life.
And we used to have a totally separate phone just for our business, but that is not necessary. Using systems like this mean that you can you kind of made a boundary that people do have to cross in order to reach you when it comes to business. People aren't on tap to your personal time, which is what our own phones are really for. Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Because you want to connect with people.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We don't personally use LinkedIn, but a lot of investors...
Considering it. If you like LinkedIn, let us know in the comments if you recommend it. We will consider. It's just another social media thing to wrap your head around. But if it's worthwhile, then let us know. What have your experience has been with LinkedIn if you're doing property or business? With our management, we do use having said that, we use WhatsApp to communicate with them, or emails. So they don't actually need to reach out to us very often at all on WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is a good tool if you need to use it with your management to show photos of or videos of things that need addressing, and we use it's more for on a maintenance, like emergency they will reach us on that. So the option's there, but we don't really communicate with our management through that. It's mostly through emails.
Yeah. I was also say in the last 2 years, we've also been using a company called Virtually There, which that's a really good thing didn't think to bring that one up. But actually, if you're a business owner and you don't necessarily want, your office is everywhere, especially with how we work.
We don't have a fixed home, like indefinitely.
So
we're
like
always
if you're
moving
a renter,
around.
for instance,
renting.
Then it really helps to have a place where you can have mail sent to, and then you can go pick it up, or you can have it forwarded to to your new address. But it keeps all of your work, anything to do with work. It helps to centralize forwarding mail to that business center for them to let you know that you have mail, and then you can go and collect what's necessary. The great thing about this company actually is that they will send you scans of your mail to see if you want to be bothered to pick it up.
Because it could just be a waste of time. Also, we used to have so much mail at our home addresses, and I don't know about you, but I would I think when you're younger you're like, I got mail. Once you get older you're like, oh no, I've got mail. And to be reminded of all the mail
like unnecessary
in your home is not nice. So it's nice that it's all sent in one place and you can just pick up the pack when you're ready to actually go tend to it.
So that like we say, that gives another layer of boundary there for us, and we find that's very helpful in creating that boundary and allowing us to not be location dependent. So
yes, because Ruth and I are all about being not just time free but also location free, because we love having all the options. So that's definitely one to consider if you're like that as well. When it comes to when we were self-managing, actually we used Spare Room and Open Rent to find tenants. So recommend those places. We did used to use Facebook. Sometimes we still did. But
back in the day as well, people used to use Gumtree. I don't know if they still do.
I don't know. I would just use Spare Room and Open Rent nowadays. But there are a lot of platforms you could use. Those are the two that we recommend. But Facebook, because it's a public, they're all public platforms, but Facebook is a public platform that is open to opinions of random people. So just a heads up.
Whereas in Spare Room,
that's
an Open Rent is specifically for people
who are actually looking to rent.
It's like built for people looking to rent.
Not
Facebook
comments.
is open to many different genres of buy my boots.
It's just a place where I'm going to say it frankly, that you could post a room and you are at market for price, but there'll be random people on the internet who have a judgment about the fact that they have to pay rent at all, basically, on there. So just a heads up, if you post on Facebook for a room, chances are you
expect an
opinion on your posting.
Even if it's if you're not advertising a room that's higher than the area.
What do you mean?
As in, like, the rent is not, you're not charging an extortionate amount. You are literally just,
you're doing market rent.
You're doing market rent.
Yeah. We use YouTube. Obviously this is on YouTube, but we use, for our property business, we use unlisted listings on YouTube, which basically they're links that people can people only with a link can access these videos, but we use this to be able to streamline instructions that we are giving a tenant or a guest. So say we get a property and somebody doesn't know how to use the boiler or the electrics, or there's a knack to opening something or closing something, or something they might need to keep an eye on.
It's really helpful to be
able
mainly
to heating.
Yeah,
we do it
but it's really helpful we did this with our other business as well with the staff, and it's really helpful to have a video instructional manual for lots of different things to do with the property,
because then that saves you from having to go out and do things. A lot of people benefit from a visual instruction rather than like a written one. So much more can be said with a short video.
Not everyone reads stuff. So by doing it this way, yes, you've got to put the work in the beginning to film all of the content.
It really takes no time.
But it doesn't take very much time, and it saves you a lot of hassle. And you can, if a tenant asks you, oh, I don't know how to do this, you can send them a link.
Yeah, but like, here you go, try this. And usually it's all they need.
And if they forget again, then they go back to that link.
Exactly. So yeah, highly recommend trying unlisted videos on YouTube. There's no point. I wouldn't make them public.
Make them private.
Unlisted. Unlisted means like just whoever has the link can access the video. I think they're also really good for if you are self-managing. It's a way to have a video tour of your property. So it saves you from potentially having to do
if you couldn't get out to
viewings,
the property,
a pre-recorded video.
Letting agencies do this all the time. If you go on Zoopla, sometimes there's a recorded video.
I really like them.
Yeah, we enjoy watching them.
I rent and I find it really useful. It saves everybody's time. You know the layout. You know, you can gauge how big something is, how big a room is.
Because sometimes photos just make it look bigger or smaller depending on the camera lens.
Usually use a wide angle lens.
Yeah.
But a video will show so much more. So an unlisted YouTube link to a video tour of your property, whether it's an Airbnb or a regular letting, that's YouTube's good for that.
For signing as well, legal documents and just keeping everything, again, systemized in one place, we use Panda Docs.
Panda Doc. So it's PandaDoc. And yes, you can create all sorts of agreements and forms, and there's a lot of templates on there that you can use. You could probably upload a tenancy agreement from NRLA and then have the signed bit there, and it just streamlines the whole process. There is a subscription to it. I think you do get a free trial at the beginning, but if you're going to be needing to sign lots of documents indefinitely or have someone sign them for you, then highly recommend PandaDoc. We have tried things like Asana for project management, and then it just became more work.
Asana was like amazing, but I don't think I couldn't visually piece it together.
I think it was good for when we were doing service accommodation. Because there was a lot of things that you had to do, a lot more things you had to do to set it up. But it was just more. It just made us have more admin time. I mean, it's probably depends on the person entirely. But I think there's also something else called Monday.com. Not tried those things, but I think it's easy to get overwhelmed with all of the tools and softwares and stuff available to you.
So we do use all of this software like Stacked for doing our portfolio, but we also use good old-fashioned calendar on your phone.
Oh yeah, love a calendar. We've got a work a work category that Ruth and I have access to.
For work.
It's green. And that is good enough for us. And thing is, I don't like having too many calendars.
No, or too many softwares. Like we use Canva as well. That's Canva really good. And we do use Canva for being able to see a full year plan.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so they do have an option.
They have a whiteboard feature on there, so you can create. And we're quite visual people.
So Canva's been like really great for us.
We used to use an actual whiteboard.
Yeah, we did.
We still do.
I mean, we still have it,
but it's more of like annual goals.
Yeah.
Whereas this
you can see
this Canva whiteboard is a weekly and like a week by week plan that's totally visual that Ruth and I can access and amend and adapt as time goes on. So I really like that feature, as well as you can make really nice
content. If you've got social media for your social media pages, like we've really Really enjoy Canva. It's very easy, in our opinion, to use. We pay for the pro version.
Worth it. It's not that expensive. It's like £9 or something. Yeah, a month. It's worth it. I really vouch for Canva, and it's Filipino owned, so supporting another fellow Pinoy. If you're into social media, CapCut's pretty good. You can also do creative listings and things like that on there. But not essential if you're running a property business. It's just if you want to get into the social media side of things. But I think those are all of the tools, like apps and softwares and websites that we have used or recommend on a day-to-day basis. I would say Stacked, NRLA, Numbers, Rightmove, Zoopla. There's a lot of highly rated ones there, but don't overwhelm yourself. Try and keep it simple. If it's not really serving you, abandon it.
And just because someone else is using...
Some people love pen and paper. A filing system, whatever works for you.
We started with a filing system before we even went on the computer. So whatever works. And if you're visual, not visual, you'll find the right software that's going to fit you. Yeah.
And all of these softwares, I'm going to put a link below. We do have affiliate links for some of them, especially the Minute Monitor and the Blink one, because we just really vouch for them if you want to take care of your Airbnb properties from afar. So I'm going to list all of them down for you so it's easy for you to find. Ruth and I are
actually VPN.
Oh my goodness, VPN. I'll put a VPN link down there as well. Basically, it is online security. You do not want, if you say you're working from a cafe one day, you do not want random hackers checking in on what you're doing and stealing any private information from you. So it's really important to have VPN, especially when you are out and about. And it's as easy as turning it on. It also means that if you want to watch Netflix with movies and shows from a different country that you wouldn't necessarily get in the UK, you can do that. So that's another added bonus.
But really, it's like if you're running a business, you need protection.
Yeah, we're living in an online world now, so it's really smart to make sure you are secure whenever you're online.
And especially if you're not wanting to go to the same office to do your work and you want to be able to have flexibility.
Say you're on holiday and you're working.
Then it really, really is a good idea to get security. That's the last one. I forgot about that one. But that's a big one.
If you have any other softwares that you, or like systems and tools that you find useful for your business, let us know in the comments below, so that it can benefit everybody else. Ruth and I are also very excited to announce that it won't be long at all until our beginners
roadmap to building a buy-to-let portfolio. So this podcast might have come out a lot later after we've released it, but just so that you know that we have created a builders just so that you know, we have created this course to help beginners get started in building their own portfolio, owning their own assets, because we advocate for that.
Ownership, yes.
And being able to keep on building from recycling the same pot of money.
Yeah, so it's just a course that we wish we had at the beginning. It's going to be a fraction of the cost of what we paid for our education, which was we didn't have very many options at the time, but we are now inspired to design something that we wished we had, and it's gonna just completely cut out all the fluff and the faff. We just wish we focused on this one thing, and this is the way that you're gonna just use property as a tool to claim your time back and be location free, and that is learning how to build a buy-to-let portfolio. It's going to be extremely beginner friendly. We're going to break down all the lingo. There are going to be worksheets so that you can apply your knowledge. There's going to be examples as well of what works, what doesn't work, how to stack a deal, what to look for when you are doing viewings, what to ask the agent. It's going to be full of that, and once that's completed,
you have that for the rest. You have that forever. So
you have access to that ongoing,
and we'll be able to keep updating it with new information ongoing. So
if regulations change, then we can adapt the information for you, and you have lifetime access to that. And once that's completed, you're not left on your own. You do have the option to be part of, one month's going to be included, but you're going to be included on a group of people who have got that foundational knowledge and are supporting each other, networking with each other, and creating friendships, a community that we wished we had when we began, of proactive people who are taking those big steps and making it happen and helping each other out in that process and holding each other accountable, which is invaluable. It's your network really can change everything for you. So there's all that to look forward to. If you haven't already, sign up to the waitlist. I'll also pop that in the description below. And if you have any questions for us, send us a DM on Instagram, and we really look forward to seeing you in the next podcast.